You ever see a movement just explode? How does that happen so fast? Well, today we're going to dig into this really interesting strategy for mass outreach. It's called the large-scale catch, and it comes from a devotional text. And honestly, it completely flips the script. It's not about winning people over one by one, but about scooping up a whole crowd in one go. So this one line right here, this is pretty much the foundation for the whole thing. It gives you this incredible image, right? A huge net thrown into the sea. And the big takeaway isn't about, being picky and looking for the perfect fish. Nope. It's about grabbing everything. It's about massive scale, right from the get-go.
And you might think, okay, that's a nice metaphor, but it's way more than that. This isn't just poetry. This one single idea, the parable of the net, is the blueprint for a whole operational strategy. Let's break it down.
So, let's picture this. The sea is, well, it's everyone, all of humanity. And the net, that's the method. And it's designed to be totally, completely indiscriminate. The idea is to just sweep up this massive, diverse crowd all at once. The focus is 100% on how wide you can cast that net, not on who you're targeting. Okay, so to really get what makes the large-scale catch so different, it really helps to see what it's not. The source material actually sets up this contrast between two totally different ways of doing what it calls soul winning.
And hey, before we jump into that comparison, let's just be clear on what soul winning means in this context. It's pretty straightforward. It's evangelism, and the end goal is conversion, bringing people into the faith.
All right, here they are, side by side. You can really see the difference. On one hand, you've got personal evangelism. That's all about the deep, one-on-one connection, really pursuing individuals. And then on the other side, the large-scale catch. Totally different beast. It's built for mass outreach, for hauling in crowds.
Okay, so let's focus in on our main topic here, the large-scale catch itself. Now, here's what's absolutely key. This is not something that just happens. It's not passive, it's not an accident. The whole idea is that this is a deliberate, planned, super organized effort. And the goal is simple. Bring in the most people you possibly can, all at the same time.
So, you might be asking, what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the text gives us some pretty clear examples. Think about massive crusades, or those big coordinated campaigns you see take over a whole city, or even major outreach programs. All of these, they're basically just different ways of casting that huge net.
And the whole net metaphor, it doesn't just stop with the catch. I mean, what happens next? You got to pull the net ashore, right? And then you sort through everything. In this framework, that act of sorting, separating the good from the bad, is a direct parallel to the process of salvation. Okay, so we've got the big idea, the metaphor. But how do you actually turn that into a real mission? Well, the source gives a really practical game plan for organizing this so-called harvest. Let's walk through it.
And then the text hits you with this super direct question. This isn't just something to ponder. It's a real call to action. It's designed to make you stop thinking about what you can do alone and start thinking about collective, large-scale planning. And here it is, the three-step plan. First, you plan together. Get your group, your church, your whole ministry on the same page. Step 2, set a target. A big one. Could be a community, a city, heck, even a whole nation. And finally, step 3, you go do it. You cast the net. Honestly, it's kind of like a project management plan, but for outreach.
But a plan this big needs more than just good logistics. It takes a certain kind of philosophy, a specific mindset. So what do you have to believe to even try something on this massive scale?
Really, it all comes down to one thing. Think big. The whole philosophy is about a radical shift in ambition. It's about stop taking small, safe steps and deciding to tackle the entire mountain in one go.
So how do you do that? Well, the text says you have to radically expand your goals. Maybe you start with a target that feels like a real stretch, but doable, say 100 people.
But you don't stop there. Once you hit that, or even just believe you can, the goal immediately jumps. Now it's 1,000. And you can't get to 1,000 people the same way you got to 100, right? It forces you to change your whole strategy. And then it gets even crazier. The next leap is to 100,000. The point here isn't just the numbers. It's about blowing the doors off what you thought was possible, making you think on a massive, regional scale. And finally, it culminates with this, aiming for 1 million people, or even more. The instruction is just go for it. The ambition itself is the message. It's a goal so huge it demands total belief in the mission.
So you're probably thinking, how on earth could anyone believe a goal that big is even possible? And this quote right here, This is the answer. This is the core belief holding the whole strategy together. It's not framed as something people are doing on their own. It's a partnership.
And that is the ultimate key to success, according to this text. The mindset you need is total, absolute faith in that partnership. A belief that anything you do together is guaranteed to just work. It'll multiply, it'll blossom, it'll succeed.
So all of this leaves us with a final thought, a bigger question. Let's step back from the religious context for a second. What does a strategy like this tell us about how any mass movement works? What does it reveal about that constant tug of war between mobilizing a massive crowd versus the slow, steady power of individual one-on-one action?